Yo, what's good guys, welcome back to another video where today we're going to be speaking about the Premier League Game Week 17 matches. And oh my, do we got some bangers this week, so let's get straight into it. Hopefully you do enjoy. Now, Aston Villa versus Manchester City. This game is going to be very good, so let's get started with Aston Villa. They've been alright this season, but their form recently has not been the best. Honestly, they have been struggling a bit to win games as well. Last game they played Nottingham Forest and they lost 2-1. Something is lacking in the team or tactics. Unai Emery needs to change something there. And onto Man City, man, they are struggling quite a bit right now. They are set in 5th place. That's probably the first time in a long time I've seen them not in the top 4. And their form has been pretty terrible, to be fair. I believe they have won 1 game in their last 11 matches in all competitions. And they played United last game and they lost 2-1. So Amorim got the best of Pep Guardiola 2 times. He beat him with Sporting and now Manchester United. My prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw. Now we have West Ham versus Brighton. This is another good game. So let's get started with West Ham. It does not seem like they're picking it up too well, like their form, but they have not been too good this season though. Last game they played Bournemouth and they drew 1-1, and I did see Bowen playing centrally, which is interesting. I think he's playing striker right now, so it kind of suits him because he can hold up the ball very well. He kind of has like the stocky build to him, but probably to do with how good he is at creating. I saw him later into the game playing cam as well. Now onto Brighton. They have been quite alright this year. Their form has dropped recently though, slightly, with them losing 3-1 to Crystal Palace, which came out of absolutely nowhere. They did create, just they couldn't get the ball into the net. The only time they did score was a own goal from Guehi, and Baleba is a gem. We gotta keep an eye on him because a lot of people are saying he is very, very good, and I agree. My prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Brighton. Now Ipswich Town versus Newcastle. This should be a pretty decent game. So let's get started with Ipswich. They have been in a bit of a struggle this year. As we know, they are a new team in the Premier League, and I gotta say they do play some nice football at times. Last game they played Wolves and they won 2-1, which led to the sacking of Gary O'Neill. And Omari Hutchinson has massively stood out to me, former Arsenal Academy player. Onto Newcastle. They're doing not too bad this season, although they have dropped to the bottom half of the table, currently set in 12th place, which is pretty crazy. And last game they played Leicester and they won 4-0. Every time we talk about Isak, I always say how good he is. This guy is a top finisher in the league right now, and surely a big club picks him up very, very soon. And my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Newcastle. Moving on to Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. Man, this game is going to be great. Let's get started with Brentford. They have been quite impressive this season. Recently the form has been a bit on and off though. In the last game they had a challenge in playing Chelsea, but they played fairly decent, but they lost 2-1. And Mbuemo was a player that scored, and he has been absolutely great for them this season. Onto Nottingham Forest, another impressive team this year, currently 4th place, which is actually pretty crazy. We saw them almost get relegated last season. Now they're in 4th place. That's crazy. And they played a solid team in Aston Villa and they won 2-1. Now Chris Wood on the score sheet, once again, he just keeps on scoring. He's up there with the top goal scorers in the league. Now my prediction is going to be a 2-1 win for Nottingham Forest. Now we move on to Crystal Palace versus Arsenal. This should be a interesting game. So let's get started with Crystal Palace. Now, they have not been too good this season, although their form in recent times has improved. Like last game, they had a challenge against Brighton. They did very well and they beat them 3-1. Ismail Assar scoring a brace. He has been a very good signing for them, and this will be, I think, a turnaround for them in my opinion. Now on to Arsenal. We are doing fairly alright this season. The way we play, I think, is very different compared to last season. The recent form has been alright, but not what Arsenal fans want. Now the last game we played was against Everton and we drew 0-0. We struggled to beat the low block and we needed just someone to just put the ball in the net. We don't really have someone who could like do that because they were marking Saka with like 3 men because obviously he's very dangerous. Now Martinelli is being played, in my opinion, in the wrong way by Arteta. Martinelli should be able to use his pace in behind and just take players one-on-one, but I think Arteta just wants him to hug the sideline and just dribble, push the fullback towards his own goal and then just cross it. I don't think that's a good tactic, but hopefully Martinelli turns out good in the next few matches. My prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Arsenal. Now we have Everton versus Chelsea. This should be a fairly decent game. Let's get started with Everton. They have not been doing too bad. They have been getting a lot of 0-0 results though. Like last game, they played Arsenal, which was going to be a challenge, but they managed to close them down using a low block. Now Sean Dyche is very good at using those low blocks, so we saw it at Burnley. Now at Everton, and Everton are currently 16th place in the league. Now on to Chelsea. They are absolutely flying this year. Enzo Maresca has transformed this team fully, and currently they're actually 2nd place and 2 points behind Liverpool, and they played Brentford and they won 2-1. Jackson just keeps on scoring as well. I believe he has like 12 goals so far in this season. That is pretty crazy. He has a man definitely on fire, and my prediction is going to be a 3-0 win for Chelsea. Moving on to Manchester United versus Bournemouth. This is going to be a super good game, so let's get started with Manchester United. They have been doing not too bad. They do sit in 13th place in the league. Last game though, they won 2-1 against Man City, which was absolutely massive for Man United fans. Amad Diallo, that guy is a unbelievable talent. Ruben Amorim has now beat Pep with 2 different clubs, as I said before, with Sporting and now with Man United. On to Bournemouth. They're doing fairly decent. I think they're definitely one of the most underrated teams this season. Surprisingly, they are sat in 6th place. They possibly could make European football, and their form has been quite good as well. They did draw 1-1 to West Ham last game, and they had low chances. They just couldn't take the lead, and they had chances to win it, but they couldn't. But my prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw between these two. Moving on to Fulham versus Southampton. This is going to be a very interesting one. Let's get started with Fulham. They're another team doing fairly well. Their recent form has been not too bad. Last game they actually faced Liverpool, who looked great. They drew 2-2. They conceded late into the game though. This team really has some very good talents. Like Robinson is probably one of the best left backs this season as well. Onto Southampton, man, it has been horrible for them so far this season. They sit dead last in 20th with only 1 win in this season. Now Russell Martin was sacked after their loss to Spurs. They actually lost 5-0. I had a feeling it was gonna come after that 5-0 result. Maybe the new manager can turn things around, but they were 5-0 down at halftime, I believe. That is actually crazy. I think that's when they knew they gotta get rid of Russell Martin, but my prediction is gonna be a 2-0 win for Fulham. Now we have Leicester versus Wolves. This should be a great game, so let's get started with Leicester. They have been struggling a bit this year. Their recent form has been a bit on and off. They have Ruud van Nistelrooy as the new manager. I believe he will make them improve. And their last result was a bit of a rough one. They lost 4-0 to Newcastle, so they gotta bounce back from that in this match. And onto Wolves, they have been horrendous this season. Their form has not been good at all recently. Gary O'Neill got sacked after their last game. They lost 2-1 to Ipswich, which kind of led to the sack, right? And Vitor Pereira will become the new coach for Wolves. I believe he's coming in from Flamengo, I believe, in Brazil, and the upcoming games will be tough for him because they're gonna play United, Spurs, and Nottingham Forest. All those teams are in fairly decent form right now, but my prediction is gonna be a 2-1 win for Leicester. Moving on to the last and final game, Tottenham versus Liverpool. It's gonna be a huge game, biggest game this week, hands down. Now let's get started with Tottenham. They have not been too good this season. Form-wise, it has been inconsistent. 10th in the league. I've not seen them there in a long time. They have been like around the top 6, top 7 the past few years, probably 10 years or so. But 10th is crazy. The bright spark in the team is Kulusevski. He has been having a very good season so far, but Angie needs to change his tactics up because if he keeps on losing, he could be at risk for his job as well. Now on to Liverpool. They're actually looking very good. They remain top of the league at the moment. Form has still remained pretty good. Most of their players are playing at a very high level, performing very well. And I just think the weak part of the team is the left back position, which is Robertson. I believe he got a red card against Fulham in their last game, and Salah has been doing wonders once again. I gotta say, his playmaking is very underrated. We have seen him pull out some amazing assists in the past few matches, so I think he has probably been working on that in the off season or during the whole season as well. But last game, he drew 2-2 to Fulham, and Jota got a late goal to secure a point for them. So my prediction is going to be a 3-1 win for Liverpool. Now thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to drop a like, comment down below all your predictions. I will make sure to check them out, and don't forget to subscribe if you did enjoy the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.